thing inherently interesting to you? Just the fact that the world operates differently? Or the ways that you want it to...
It's not like...
Because to me, like, if it's just aesthetic, it's like, that's fine. Like, sometimes it being different is interesting enough in and of itself, but I prefer it having consequences for, like, characters and...
But then, I don't really care
itself.
about, like, whatever, but like the crows, I don't really care, like magic or whatever. But like, so what happens is, one of the wizards, so because the clan is kind of like loads of troubles and shit, and like a bunch of the old wizards got like executed and stuff.
Okay.
A bunch of the wizards now are like little kids, so they're like adult minds in like kids' bodies because they've like
Americans.
Yeah. But then what happens is like one of them die, like one of the kids, right? He dies, but he's like drowns. So the crows can't eat the body. And like, so what happens is like a bunch of there's like no crows around because he just dies like so quickly, and it's gonna like his body's gonna like sink to the bottom. So like. In that scenario, what happens is like shitloads of butterflies appear, and like sort of take the knowledge, I guess, from the body instead. And like,
wait, what shows up?
Butterflies.
Oh.
So instead of crows, the butterflies. But then they can't like take all the knowledge, so then like like a bunch of it's like gone. And then all the other wizards are like fucked up because they're like, oh my god, he's like actually dead. Like loads of it's actually gone now because they're so used to like all the wizards dead.
Access to it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like, oh, it's fine. Like this wizard who's been alive for thousands of years passed on.
There's no way we could lose anything of consequence.
Yeah, because they're always like, and then at the end of the book, the same things. Like it turns out that they're like. The whole time they've been traveling across the country, like they've been led by this like leader of the Crow clan, who's like this amazing commander, who's like, you know, really great tactician and stuff. Just as they get to like salvation,
I think you're glazing him a little too hard, but I haven't read the book, so.
Yeah, like all the refugees basically get saved, but all the like soldiers are like holding off a big army, while the refugees can like get into a city.
Doesn't the magical mechanics make it confusing as to what the fuck the consequences are gonna be? Like if you have... Because like you said, you have the basic functional immortality on some people, but then there's ways to break it, but how do you know... Like, do they explain that shit ahead of time, or is it just like, oh, I guess this happened now?
Look, they
resurrect after all.
They explained the thing of the like crows, like
early on.
You have like a soul that kind of that's like re-entered a body, and it like the crows act as like a storage space basically for like souls of specific wizards. So like the new soul go like so the.
This might be a stupid question. Why crows?
They're the Crow clan. It's just crows.
It's just their national animal, therefore souls get passed on.
It's part of their magic, so they're like magic crows.
Okay.
It's like they're intertwined. I don't know. It's like some god shit or something.
Some god shit.
But then it's like the butterflies can do it as well. So it's like that's like a mystery of like, okay, what actually happened? Because they're like, oh, he's dead, but then why was all those...
these aren't rogue butterflies that have just
right, exactly.
knowledge?
Yeah, so it could be that it's like something else took the knowledge, because you have all these different like old gods and new gods and like different forces of power and like different realms and like all this crazy shit and like dragons and like
classic.
Because they have. They have, the way they do the magic is you have, like, what are they called?
Yes.
They're kind of like realms. So like
Define
you
realm.
have just like a place.
So like
And
a
so,
kingdom.
no, it's just like a physical, like
What, like a
one realm.
dimension?
Yeah, like a dimension. Like one realm is just like ashes, and everything's dead in it.
Okay.
But then you get power from that realm, and then there's like a realm of illusions, and then like a realm of this, and it's like they're just like there's like super old
But are
ones
they
and
more
new
like
ones.
conceptual, or are they actually physical?
You can
Because
go
this
there.
really fucks with the scope.
You can go there, but like sometimes you can and you can't, and there are gods there, and there are beasts that are like natural to that realm. But then you can like you can call power from that realm, but then it's like it like affects your mind and shit.
Okay.
And like you, or like it, so you can like take power from like the chaos realm, but then it like makes you go insane, basically, and stuff. So you're kind of
Classic.
like, yeah,
That's some Warhammer shit right there, isn't it?
yeah. But then, so it turns out at
They
the
have a
end,
chaos realm? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, yeah. So at the end of that like whole like pilgrimage and all those like people, the leader turns out like he gets captured, and they like are gonna execute him, and it turns out that like there's something special about him as well, because they want the crows to like eat his soul. So it's almost like the chieftain of the crow clan has always been the same person forever.
What is this book?
Malazan, the Book of Malazan.
Oh, I think you talked about this before, or mentioned the name. Is it like a book series?
Yeah, it's like when you Google like best fantasy series ever, it's like top, it's like number 2.
Really?
Yeah.
How old is it? Because I don't remember seeing that when I googled similar shit.
One with nature.
Everybody stand! This'll brighten up the place.
1999.
Okay.
Yeah, so then
Treasure hunting. A
like
valiant endeavor.
he's being executed, and the crows are trying to like come and eat him, but because his body's in like being held by the enemies, as the crows come and try and eat him, they like there's another wizard on their team who keeps like blasting all the crows and killing them all. So they're like, oh god, like the actual lead, like so all the mages that are still alive in the kids' bodies are like freaking out and like crying, going insane, because it's like,
Fuck, sorry, I interacted with something. I don't know what's happening.
what?
I thought I ended up in a cutscene. Didn't happen. Never mind. Wait, what's going insane?
Like all the wizards, because they're like they've known like that the leader is actually like a special one like them, like the knowledge is passed on,
Sure.
and they're all going mad. So it's like, oh god.
So he's gonna go mad?
So what's going to happen is almost like the leader, all his knowledge is going to get lost because he's going to die, and there's no crows to eat him to like pass on his soul.
Okay.
And they're all like freaking out because they can't do anything, because they're like, it's just them, a few people who like left, and the refugees in this like city behind the gates. And then basically what they get to do, they get someone to do is like,
Yes.
one of the like guards of the town that they finally got to. They basically get him to like get a, because he's like a big, like huge guy with like a longbow. Basically get him to like
Classic.
shoot the leader and like kill him so that the crows can like get to him. So like he has to like kill the guy who just saved all the refugees, basically. And he like freaks out and he's like, oh god, I killed him, what did I do? And then he gets eaten, the leader's body gets eaten by crows. And it's
The amount of eating you've mentioned
yeah.
in the past few minutes.
But there's so much crazy shit, and like, I like the mystery and the sort of strange ways that you don't know how stuff is going to work. It's like, I like the kind of underneath systems, but like you don't really understand them, and you're like slowly getting more and more information. And so there's like possibility where, like say in that example with the butterflies, it's like maybe there's like a butterfly god, and now that butterfly god has all this magic, and then they're gonna like turn into this or that. And so it kind of, that's the kind of mystery aspect I like, because you don't kind of understand it all, so you're like, you want to know more to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, but the fact that I don't understand is probably why I would just get frustrated, because I don't understand the setting, I don't understand the rules.
Yeah, but it's almost like,
Part of the fun.
yeah, or like you assume that there is a system you just don't know about yet. So like you're pursuing more knowledge
Yeah,
of the
but
system.
I mean, like a very typical example is how in anime you have a bunch of people fighting and they put a lot of focus on that, and it's like, okay, but you keep pulling rules out of your ass as to why one person would win instead of the other. So, like, how am I ever going to get invested if you just keep pulling this Deus Ex Machina shit?
What do you mean? What do you mean rules?
Like, a character in anime has a certain type of power, and then he fights another person who seems like he should be way stronger, but the other person unlocks a power, like, just before he gets defeated. I was like, okay, if you can just pull out any sort of random bullshit out at any time, how the fuck am I supposed to get invested?
To the wind.
Yeah, but that's like,
So I'm worried about the confusion behind the rule sets trivializing the actual drama.
but that's like more like power creep rather than like lack of understanding. Because like say, because it's like, okay, they're having a fight and he's just about to lose, and then he suddenly gets the power and he like wins.
Yeah, but you were talking about, like, that is just the consequence of a fight. We're talking about people like dying and shit. If I don't know if a character will actually possibly die, why should I care if they make it dramatic that he fell in battle?
Yeah, so
Because
it's
maybe
kind
his
of,
memories lives on because of some fucking crow eating his ass.
yeah, but then it's like, it depends on the stakes. So like the stakes are different. So say the leader lives, right?
Who says there aren't benefits?
But then
to
like
a
his
life
whole
of
tribe's
wonder?
dead. So then now he's like haunted forever because he's the last one. But so he'll never die. But then he's got all of his clan dead, so he's like trapped, suffering forever.
Okay.
So it's kind of, if or like you kind of
So you're just operating on a different
go.
scale of drama.
yeah. So it's kind of, it's like that. It's like,
Neutralize.
One
or
with nature.
you're kind of, there is consistency. It's just like you're kind of slowly learning it, or like the, like, say in the books, like gods can die, right? And like
We killed him.
there's one where there's like, you've got these like
I
ancient,
witnessed the face of God and he is weeping. What?
so you've got like ancient,
Go on.
so like
Say
different lands have like gods of the like elemental like lands, or the, you know, earth of,
Sure.
yeah, whatever. And then like different tribes and groups have different gods as well. So there's like a tribe of there's a tribe with like a god that its whole thing is like it's a giant mouth that like eats everything. Similar to
Okay.
like the ogres in Warhammer. And what
God of
what
Gluttony.
what happens is like the tribe that
Good.
worships the like god of like that eats everything. Like they're in this like new place where there's like other elemental gods of that land, and when the like priest sort of summons the power from like I say, call him the mouth god that eats everything. Like
Let's light it.
the elemental gods in that land, like basically consume him instead and like take all his power, right?
Lol.
But what happens is like they didn't eat all of him,
Time to go.
so there's like a piece left, right? And that what the tribe does is they find the piece of the god, right? And they cut open one of their priests and like shove it in him and then sew him back up, and like
Okay.
so he's like you could like make him into like a vessel of like the last piece of that god. So before where it was like
Very physically though, not spiritually, or
Yeah.
symbolically, or anything.
yeah, so like before where it was like the god kind of like was alive and hidden and sort of did what he wanted and granted power. Now it's like physically like this one guy has all this like crazy power in him and he's like the last piece. So like the god's body like becomes a powerful item because it's like it's like a leftover remains. And like there's a similar thing that happens where some other guy gets his arm cut off and then he
Have you read any books with like a disempowerment fantasy?
or like someone powerful wants to get weak.
No. Like, they're not even the protagonist of the book, and they're surrounded by people that are stronger than him, and he still has to like fucking figure out how to make himself useful.
Well, that is kind of what this book is, because the main character kind of you're following through the whole like pilgrimage of this army and refugees. He's like the Empire historian, so he keeps getting like protected and given special treatment by the like commander because the commander wants to make sure that like the story and the knowledge of like the pilgrimage and all this like stuff, as well as like keeping the historian alive because he knows so much about the Empire. Like, but then he still is like having to do desperate shit because he's like part of the army now and they're getting attacked. So like he used to be a soldier, but he's not anymore, and he's like 50 something. But then he has to start like fighting and
Adventure time.
Raising kids, starting a family.
well, like looking after people and sort of getting on a horse and fighting, and or like
He's just too old for the shit.
or it's like he's forced to like, okay, I need to make sure I can see the battle, so he has to
There are
like
benefits to a life of war.
climb a mountain with like there's a group that's going to ambush people, so he has to like go with them so he can get a good vantage point of the battle. So it's like dangerous for him to get to a place where he can like see what's going on to like kind of record the battle, because he becomes like a target because he's just standing in the open looking at everybody.
But he needs to record history. That's very important.
Yeah, like also because it's like he's recording like the sort of it's like part of it's he's sort of recording what like living history, like what's going on. But also he is like
He is living history. So fucking
like he has so much knowledge in his head of the Empire and its history and all this
has he
knowledge.
tried writing it down?
Well, yeah, that's like because he's been so long kind of like traveling and like in this country that he hasn't had a chance to like write it all down. So like he's kind of like he doesn't think he deserves special treatment, but the commander keeps like protecting him and like giving him special treatment and like kind of protecting him and like all this kind of stuff. So he's kind of this like useless old man in the fight,
Shine down.
but he's sort of
He gets
He's still-
special privileges.
yeah. So kind of similar to Disempowerment maybe, because he's not the main character at all. He has no magic. He's like an old man, and like he just kind of has to deal with shit. And he used to be a soldier, so he kind of knows what to do, and he knows what's going to happen, and he like understands kind of what's going on, like
his knowledge.
yeah, or like he has a deep understanding of like what's going on, where like there's this river crossing they're at, and then one of the wizards of the Crow clan speaks with the spirits of the land, and like all these like skeletons rise out of the water to like help them fight. And like a bunch of the skeletons are like women and children, and like just random people. And so like,
Nice.
and but he like kind of figures out why there's like all these skeletons here, and like, oh, it's like because previously when, you know, the clans were united and things, oh, this is where they like massacred a bunch of their own children and like all this kind of stuff. So it's like you kind of, from his insight, you kind of see, you get a better understanding of why the Crow clan are like so desperate to like help the Empire like escape the country.
Okay.
Because like when the Empire invaded that nation, they basically defeated all the tribes and forced them to like make peace with each other. Because what was going to happen is all the tribes were basically just going to kill themselves, and like all the tribes were going to be gone because they would just massacre each other, like a suicidal. So like the Crow clan is happy that the Empire took over because it forced all the tribes to stop fighting each other. So it's this kind of weird thing where they're the one clan that's like going against all the other clans that have like reunited in this revolution. And they're like, no, we're not. We want the Empire to be happy and not hate us and come back, and like, because we know if we don't and we go back to our old ways, like we're all just gonna kill each other, and then like it's just gonna be genocide and everyone's gonna die. So it's like I like. So when I think of mystery, it's like because I don't know how the like magic system works and like in such a depth, or like how things exactly work. I like that it, like the possibilities are still there for things to happen, and like, but also the idea that it's kind of not purely just it's more like laws of nature and stuff. Because again, in that book, there's this weird
Illusion shattered.
there's a scene that happens where like they're on a ship and they're in a storm, and the storm, there's like a wizard who's been overtaken by one of these like realms. So he's like a conduit from all this like power in one of the realms. So like this wizard is just the center of the storm, like shooting fucking lightning, winds and chaos and everything. So they can't really, they're like trying to escape this guy. And they like transport the whole shit like into this realm. And or they all get teleported into the realm and they find a ship in the realm. And like, how the fuck did this ship get here? And
Fair question.
like what they have to do is like to get out of the realm, they need like something. It's like
something new, something purple, something.
they basically need like a doorway, right? But they can't like make their own doorway out of the realm. And what happens is they kind of like attract the attention of this like massive undead dragon that lives in the realm, and then when the undead dragon kind of like sort of like transfers, like goes out of the realm, they like follow it. They like take the ship and like follow the dragon out, right? But then as they're going out, some of the people on the boat like don't sort of cover themselves or aren't in the lower decks. They like get affected by the kind of rift as they transfer across, right? And then when they get there, like their whole body, like all their like skin is like gold, and they're just like, so they've been like transformed kind of into sort of like demigods, just from because they like transferred over. So these just like random ass group of like sailors that are just kind of like, you know, generic soldiers, like they're kind of okay, they're like a lieutenant or some privates, whatever. Like now they're these kind of like godly strength sort of like super powerful,
There is no escape.
almost like immortal sailors, warriors now.
Game's up. Fun.
So they're just the same, but like they've been transformed into like they can't be killed, and they're like 10 times as strong as a normal person. And like that aspect where they're just like instantly swapped over. And now you could imagine like what could they do in the future now? Like they could just take over countries or become like a king of something because they're so fucking powerful. Or they could just like sail the seas and just do
There's
whatever
just
they want.
random fucking people who got power.
Yeah, because like they were sort of affected by the rift as they like went through it. Because the others were like protected under the deck or like some sort of thing covered them or something. So it like there's all these kind of weird interactions between the realms and reality and different like gods and things. So like when it's like the act of because it's like it acts more like laws of nature. You can sort of feel as though there's all these possibilities that can happen, and it's not just based on like, you know, the hero gets it or the god chooses someone or like the righteous one is, you know, or the most intelligent person that figured it all out, you know, did a ritual and got all this stuff. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, there are smarter ways of using that facet of world building, but it's still weird to me when like very huge concepts just keep getting introduced. Because then I don't know like when the fuck it's going to end. They're just gonna keep introducing.
Then why does it need to end?
Constant. Because it's hard to keep track of.
yeah,
And
that's
the characters sort of lose meaning in that a lot of the time.
yeah. I see what you mean. Where it's
Where like
almost
any
like,
individual doesn't really have any consequence in. It doesn't feel like they can have any impact when a concept can get introduced that just overwrites it all. It's hard for me to get invested.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you mean. Where it's like you kind of
Like that's why the concept of like resurrection and shit is like if they introduce time travel, like that shit is the most fucky element to implement into any story in a way where it doesn't just break everything.
yeah. But then it's so it kind of I think they have a kind of in this book series like I think they have a good sort of line where there is a
Doesn't
kind
feel
of
like it trivializes things.
no, like because you have
All right, let's finish.
Solidify!
Illusion shattered.
Order guide you.
it's more like or it's like if something does happen, there's an impact. So say like
Curiosity deserves
a guy
reward.
dies, right? If he's resurrected, it's never just like, oh, he's back. It's like in one of the first things that happens, like so there's this wizard guy, and then he gets killed in this battle. But he suspected that like he was gonna get killed, that like the sort of the lead wizard in the battle, he was on his side. He had this feeling that like while the battle was happening, he'd use the confusion to like kill the other wizard. Like so it would just seem like, oh, you know, the other he got killed by something. But like he did it on purpose
There is no escape.
as like a cover to like kill a competing magician or wizard or whatever. So what happens is like he dies completely, just like dead, like cut in half. But then his soul is like put inside a doll, and then he's back, but he's like inside a doll, so he's like really small, and
Take yourselves a home.
he's like really weak.
Torn to oblivion.
But then he can hide and like not be suspect of things. So Now
Okay.
and like now that like but like a 10-inch little wooden doll. That's what he's put in, right? That's Soul. So he has all his powers still, and he can still like do all his magic. But like
Stabilize.
Committed to Nim.
I will.
it kind of it changes, like it sort of shifts things around. So like there's always like a consequence or a cost for like something happening.
Sure.
I think that's it.
Do you understand them? Can you predict them? Can you see where things are going instead of being like, oh, what a twist every fucking time?
Yeah, like it's not like every
Because
time.
I like having things to be curious about where I don't understand, but it needs to give me something to like nibble on, something that I can like think about instead of just being confused.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Yeah, like it does. I think because usually what they do in the book is they kind of
Like I felt, I keep almost calling it Discworld every fucking time. Disco Elysium. It did a really good job of just dropping just enough information to be like, what the fuck do they mean by that? And then they drip feed you more information where you can see where it's heading, and you can start speculating yourself. It was fucking fantastic at that. Like, I'm not sure I've actually had a better experience with that element in any other piece of media.
yeah. Because I think in the book, unless I remember, I read it ages ago, so it's like I think what they do.
I feel like I should talk more about this since it's more relatable for me, so it's easier to transition from. God damn it! I got distracted for half a second. I can't get my mind back on track. Disco Elysium also had some supernatural elements to it, but like the way it introduced it is that they were related to like real life supernatural shit, which just made you think, oh, this is just some fucking conspiracy theory shit that is pointless. And then it turns out it correlates to like an actual world mechanic, and then you're like, okay, like what the fuck was it called again? Like the Pale?
Yeah. Oh, you forget shit when you go in there.
Yeah.
There's like a fog.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, like I thought it was, oh, this person is speaking metaphor. And then the more I played the game, the more I realized, oh, this is like a fucking rerolled thing. And I just thought that was kind of cool.
But then the fact that you thought it wasn't a real thing and then being shown that it was, like that.
It felt like sort of a red herring, but it's that it gives it a sort of a specific type of feeling where it introduces something as an urban myth. But then once they start revealing that some of these urban myth type things correlate to real things, when you hear the second urban myth, you're like, hold on, this could be something. Like how you have the fucking cryptid, and it just sounds like a fucking joke, and then shows up at the end, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like that.
There's like so many elements of that where it's like technically it doesn't have anything to do with the story, but it enriches the world in such weird ways.
Yeah, it's like.
But none of them have been so big that it actually like trivializes the setting either.
So that's kind of, yeah, it's like you want. It's like something that's mysterious. Like it can't. It becomes not mysterious if you're like seeing it all the time. So it's like.
Yeah.
Like dragons.
That's why I think the way Lord of the Rings handled magic was really, really good. You have some like incarnations that are just really powerful, but some of the powers that they have aren't even like fantastical. Like Sauron's power is just like the power of suggestion and manipulation.
Yeah. Where
But it's like the most dangerous power in that world.
yeah, or it could, it's like because Sauron was kind of defeated and like he's just a big eye. It's like his
Big eye.
his powers are like limited. So like his suggestion and manipulation, it's like he can still do it because it's basically just like words and like hints and thoughts, right? Whereas like when he's like a real thing, he can like swing a mace and like, destroy like 50 people. Huge,
but
powers.
that never really was the power that people were afraid of.
No, because it's like
because like all the Valar are like empowered physically to some degree, it seems. Well, not necessarily physically, but like forcefully, directly.
Yeah.
Like Gandalf's just a fucking old wizard man, but dude knows how to swing a staff and Kamehameha.
Yeah. Yeah, or it's kind of utility magic. It's like
yeah, that's like what makes
it's like a tool. It's not
each one of the Valar unique, or each type of power unique.
Yeah, it's like a tool, not a weapon. So it's like Gandalf can like whistle and then the Shadowfax appears, or like can speak to moths and eagles and shit.
Summon eagles, yeah.
Like even if you can speak to an eagle,
it's always subtle powers, and I think the subtlety of it.
That's the thing. It's like
makes it more magical.
It's like Gandalf can like ask the eagles for help. He doesn't like control the eagles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's more of a pact he had ahead of time.
And I think with the Disco Elysium, there was that thing of like you meet that woman. So it's like the Pale. So you think if it's okay, like so you have countries and lands, and then like the Pale is like a fog that's like over the ocean and stuff, or like it's like a big fog.
Isolating a lot of nations, it seems.
But then it's like when she talked about like she sailed to different places, and then she was mentioning about like
wasn't she like a trucker? But yeah, they were on an island, so I guess she must have.
There's like an old woman who's like a rich old woman you meet, and she's got a boat.
A rich old woman. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant like the transport worker, because that's when the concept of the Pale got first introduced to me, and I was just like, what the fuck is she? I thought she was like tripping out of her mind because she was like smoking and shit. So I thought this was like an acid trip she was sharing with me.
But then when you meet the woman with the boat, she talks about like, oh yeah, navigating the Pale, like it's possible, like you can do it. Yeah. So it's like where it's like. So it mixes physical and mental together, because it's like it's a fog, so you could just go around it. But then say you like it's everywhere and you have to go through it. Maybe there's some kind of like skill involved, or some kind of like
it's navigating it is a skill issue.
Personal quality, or it's like psychic based or some like thing. You know what I mean? Because it's like so the mystery of kind of
because I think what they said was. Like, the actual problem with the fog isn't that it's like a normal fog and you can't see where you're going. It's that it's like it disorients you and start hallucinating, and
you get like lost in
it. Makes you like it fucks with you in a way where it makes you turn back around.
Yeah.
Solidify.
So that's like the fact that it's like so she's simultaneously like because you don't really know, because it's simultaneously like physical and mental or supernatural at the same time. So it's like, is her capability of navigating the fog some kind of like mysterious element of like supernatural powers, or she has some skill or a device or something like? And because you don't know, it's like that's the mystery. But then it kind of is restrained with its like, because she still has to like have a boat and sail through it. And it's a physical thing, but then it has some other aspect to it, which like affects you mentally. So it's like it's grounded because it's still like you go in the fog and it affects you. So you could like not be in the fog and it doesn't affect you. So there's a reality to it. So there seems like some sort of law or of like nature or physics or some like conceivable like rules to it because it's tied to the fog, and the fog is like you can see it. Yeah. So I guess like with that Malazan book, because they do a lot of explaining, and there are like gods and like super powerful people, and like you actually do talk to gods, but then you can like new gods can be made and like ascend.
Cutscene.
Cutscene.
At the Petlisor gathering spot. Ah, yes. Should have known. So I have my own pet Pokemon for this patch apparently, and it looks like Shanshu, and now I'm sending him on a play date.
That's fun.
Okay, we'll sit on the sidelines and drink some fruit juice or something. Did he die?
Then do you think how far, like how much of One Piece are you watching the show?
Yes.
You're not reading the manga.
No.
But then you know in the show, so like Luffy has, he has the like god fruit or whatever.
Yes.
And then Egghead, no, you haven't had. Well, like, what has Vegapunk said about devil fruits?
I don't. Oh yeah, I think he said one of the things you mentioned, where it's like, oh, they might be from a different reality.
Yeah, like he mentions that they're like. He thinks that they're like people's dreams manifested into like fruit, like physical things. Like someone wanted to be, someone wanted this ability, and then the devil fruit came into existence because of that. So like,
that reminds me of a trope that is really common in fairy tales that isn't really used at all these days in like modern stories, but I sort of miss them because it's weirdly enough common between cultures like across the world, where you have animals or sometimes even like inanimate objects that become entranced with human culture and then transform into a human and like try to become part of the culture, and sometimes they're excised, sometimes they stalk the people. But just the fact that you have something that's just supposed to like look like human but actually isn't, like Sealies in Selkies in Irish mythology is like one of those things. But like I wish I had more concrete examples. I just remember talking to or seeing people talk about fairy tales in their own culture, and it's like it's very prominent and common. And sometimes it isn't that they transform into human beings, but because they want to become part of the culture, like suddenly they can like talk.
Yeah.
Gather.
But then like,
For some reason, I just sort of missed that.
Share my knowledge.
but I feel like with the One Piece thing I was talking about, I feel like that, like, it's lost mystery because it's like
It's been explained.
kind of, but then it's also the way it's explained is like, again, it's too open-ended. It's like, if you think of it, it can happen. So it's like it doesn't really
Open too much of a can of worms.
Yeah, because like say like
berries on it.
Yeah, like say like Nika was an actual god in the past or whatever, and then the fruits are tied to something. But then it just seems like
Something. Yeah.
someone invented Nika, and then the fruit came because someone invented Nika. There was no Nika. It's just like invented. So like the kind of logic of like, well, how did devil fruits even begin? It's like it kind of, it doesn't really give answers. It just gives more questions, and like it doesn't answer anything. It doesn't give you like a little hint of anything. It's just it makes it seem like devil fruit are like less rare because
This is
someone could just think of shit and then for some reason the fruit appears. It's like,
Yeah.
or can it still happen, or like the fruits were created, like there was some sort of special time where like there was someone creating devil fruits and people would go to them and be like, this is my wish, can you make a fruit for me? And they'd make it, and then like maybe that guy died now, so only the fruits that exist now like keep existing. But then they haven't explained like how new ones come about when someone dies, but they keep like perpetuating. Like if Kaido dies, his fruit will go like appear somewhere and someone else will get it.
Yeah, because there's a cycle of reincarnation to the fruits, but
Yeah.
then you'd wonder, can't they be further like?
But then they've done things with like Blackbeard's crew hunting down specific fruit, or like finding specific people with the fruit, killing them, and then getting the fruit.
Yeah.
So it's like there must be some way that they know, like the fruit spawns within a certain range of the person that died with it, or something, or like
Yeah,
like
there was something weird where I seem to remember them saying that there was like some sort of Garden of Eden type area where the devil fruits should spawn.
yeah.
But then there have also been reports of just a random fruit on a random tree
Yeah, it's like
suddenly having that.
it's something like the soul of the fruit leaves the body, and then it like finds the closest fruit, and then whenever one is near it, it just like inhabits that fruit.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
But then they had pictures of, there was like a book that the Navy had or something, or they knew what one of the fruits looked like or something. So it's almost like, say Kaido dies and there's a banana nearby, like the banana gets the like scales of the dragon. But then say the next person dies and the nearest fruit is a pineapple, it's like a pineapple with the dragon scales. But then it doesn't seem like that. It seems like the fruit always looks the same. So like,
What if there's a devil fruit nearby? Does the devil fruit
Right.
get the other devil fruit characteristics?
exactly. And then the whole fucking thing of like Blackbeard having two fruits at once with his like special power from the like black.
Yeah, but that feels like a clear mystery. It's like
Yeah.
it's very deliberately just him that's able to do that. So
Yeah.
that feels like it doesn't. Like he does break the rules, but it doesn't feel arbitrary.
Yeah. But then so I've watched like One Piece is kind of,
Make yourselves at home.
I don't like so much the world building there where
That's dicey. Quietly now.
the world is too well known. It's like you see giant maps and like Red Line and Grand Line and like East Blue, and like you've just seen everything, and you're like all the fights are with like the world government, and it's
too explored.
yeah, it's like too. It's like,
And all the more valuable.
and because they focus on sort of the characters, you never kind
I
of
never feel like they have GPS. I'm currently fine with it.
it's like it feels like the only people in the world that exist are the ones they show in the program. So like you might have a country, but like every country it feels like there's no people living in it, because it's not like the characters live in a town and then everything that happens in the story affects one town, and it's like you see all the villages and there's like thousands of people running away, and it's like you never see that in One Piece. It's like or you cut back to Water 7, where Frankie's from, and it's just like 4 people around a table. And when you were there back in the day watching the show, the streets had like 3 people in it. And so the world feels like empty because
I feel like they've done a better job with that recently, actually. Because
Yeah, like
now,
one
that
and
you
stuff.
have, now that you have the Revolutionary Army shit, you then start seeing like, oh, there was a revolution here in an island outside of where they've even been yet, like one of the blues that they haven't been to, and along the Grand Line.
But then it kind of, just I never really liked the constant like jumping between characters, but like across distances, like where you're seeing what's going on between like a character in one country and then another. It's like it makes the world smaller because you're like seeing so much of it. It's such like a bird's eye view.
Solidify.
I see everything.
Yeah, but there are,
Game's up. Fun's over. Gotcha.
there's different interpretations of the word big here. For me, it makes it seem like there actually is things going on outside of the Grand Line and outside where they are. Because they're involving the world government and there's a fucking conspiracy going on that isn't just involving whatever the fuck Luffy's doing at the moment.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make it seem like there's places that they haven't been on the map yet, sure.
But then it starts feeling like a news show because you're like, what's Putin doing? Oh, he's doing that. Like, okay, let's go to France. What's happening in France? It's like you're not like following. You're not like.
Sure, that bothers me.
It doesn't feel like I'm in the world. It feels like I'm watching it. It doesn't feel like
Witness me.
where it's like the way it's presented is too kind of like in your face, I guess. That's what it's
Too in your
Oh.
face.
like. There's no like subtlety in One Piece. It's just like bang.
Okay, how should they do it? What's the counterexample?
I think like
Because it's very obvious that they want to make this world government void century thing relevant. And they should build up to it. Can't just,
Yeah.
oh, by the way, there's been a void century this entire time, filled with characters and peoples and ongoings, and we're just going to introduce it at the end of Luffy's journey instead. You can't fucking have that shit. He's found the One Piece, which you thought was the goal the entire time. Oh, by the way, there's a secondary plot line we never bothered addressing.
because they do have like good mysteries and they are like big questions and things, but
But
it feels like it's like what's known about the world versus what's unknown. It feels like you know so much. So like once you get the final pieces of the puzzle, you know everything. It's like you're kind of you're finding the last mysteries and then it's all over. Like there's no more mystery anymore. Like the world is empty of like mystery. Because
feels to me like,
How about we explore the
I
area
mean,
ahead of us
depends on what
later?
you consider big enough of a mystery to be interested in, because they got so many fucking characters with weird relationships you don't expect
yeah.
that they technically have like just possible storylines out the fucking wazoo.
But
But the main storyline,
that's like character. It's not like world. It's not like the world is mysterious. It's like the characters are mysterious. It's like
yeah,
relationships.
but I consider character history part of world history, depending on the influence that they've had. Like
Yeah,
the entire
but-
Void Century thing has like some fucking secret king that's been in charge the entire fucking time. His history is the world history. Like, because of the level of
Yeah.
influence that he's had.
But like, say it turns out, oh, he had a kid, and his kid is this guy, and you're like, okay, well,
Yeah, that's a possibility, and some anime would do that shit just because they're out of ideas. But
that's it. But it's not like big mysteries. It's not like
what the fuck?
it's not like the knowledge
How
of the
do you know
universe
they're in-
mystery.
Well, the fucking.
It's like if you think of like our reality, it's like we don't know like the Big Bang, like what happened before that, and what was it like, and then what happens in a black hole, and like how do the, like what are there any aliens in the universe, and like all these giant mysteries, right? It's like if tomorrow there's just a news thing like, oh hi everyone, like here's God, and here's all the aliens, and like this is, you know, the future, and this is all the big mystery. Like we figured out physics now, and it's just like, okay, well that's fine. Okay, what, like all the mystery's gone. There's nothing like interesting now in the universe.
Okay. You don't think you can maybe make steps towards some of these mysteries or make introductions towards others?
Yeah, but that, like, so that's what I feel like One Piece has done. It's like the big mysteries are like, okay, what is the One Piece? Like, what happened in the Void Century? How did like Devil Fruit work? I feel like they're all gonna be told to us by the end.
Okay.
But then also like,
Well, I feel like all the world mysteries of the universe are going to be told to us by the end.
yeah, but kind of there's no the scope of like what they could be is like so vast. Whereas in One Piece, it's like I don't feel as though.
I can't believe we took so much shit on One Piece, Isaac. I thought it was like a favorite show in the world.
Nah, got good animation, good character design, but it's like Luffy's fucking boring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it's just fucking Goku slash Wukong all over again. The fucking
so-
simple-minded meathead that is only interested in fighting and is just direct and just shouts whatever he thinks.
yeah. Nice.
That is a very typical anime protagonist trope.
Yeah. I just like
Gay.
I like mystery, and I like possibilities, and I like consequences.
Yeah, but how do you gauge possibility? Because it seems like you're pretty determined that there's no more possibility left in One Piece because they're just gonna answer everything.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like if they like did
Well,
One
it seems like
Piece.
you're annoyed by them trying to explore some of those things. Like, no, just leave those things a mystery.
Yeah, like basically. Or it's like, or like the explanations for them are kind of too open or too like unrealistic, or like there's no like cohesion between certain things, because it's like they had all like rules for like, okay, you have like Logia fruits and you have like Paramecia fruits, and then but now you have like God fruits that can be like anything, and then Devil fruits can technically be anything because they're just like wishes that people have. So it's like it doesn't. It's like too open-ended. It's like there's too much possible. They're not kind of giving you hints and mysteries within a certain like. It's like if the question is like, okay, what are the devil fruits? Because now they've given the idea that they're just like, you know, people wished for things and they came into reality.
Mm-hmm.
Before, it seemed they were more related to something with the ocean, because it's like when you can't swim if you eat the fruits. So it's like, is there a link between the fruits and the ocean anymore, or is it like is it like a more scientific thing, or like were the devil fruits like created by someone who was like
I mean, there always seems like a
or-
religious component to it. The way they talk about it, like devil fruits are called that because they're maybe made out of devil's power, and because the ocean is the birthplace of life or the cradle of life, it rejects them. Is like the explanation that they've given.
But then it's like Vegapunk can just copy and paste them,
Yeah, like that shit sort of requires an explanation.
and like he can just give the fucking Seraphim like 50 different people's fruits because he uses their blood, so their blood is pumping. So like 3 different people's blood at once in the same body means you can all use all the fruits, and it's like, okay. But then Blackbeard was the only one who could have multiple fruits, but now the Seraphim can have multiple fruits. So then is Blackbeard like an experiment of Vegapunks or some shit, or like I don't fucking know.
But why can't the clones have... Oh, wait. The clones never ate a devil fruit themselves. They just utilized the blood of the devil fruit user. Right?
Well, it's unclear. Like he might have, like. Well, that's the thing, because
That's the purpose of the blood, and all of them have the blood thing in their arm.
like the people he's cloned are still alive. So like Hancock and blah blah blah, all these people, like they're still alive. So is there some link between like, is it like a copy of the fruit, you know, with Kaido's one where it's like the pink version? It's like he ate the pink dragon fruit, so now he's like the pink dragon. But then when you see the Seraphim that's like Mihawk, he has the like blade power of the guy that like Zoro killed in.
Yeah, so if you could just copy devil fruits like you would Kaido's, why would he even bother using the blood?
Yeah, so it's like, is the blood needed for like multiple ones at the same time in the same body, and they can like switch? Or
But
were they?
have we seen a single one of them use multiple powers?
That's the thing. Like, well, yeah. So,
Like Seraphim, not...
yeah, I'm trying to think. So Kuma's one used Kuma's power, but then he used
Yeah, is there anything...
like Jinbei's one
Okay.
used.
The swim fruit.
I'm trying to think if they had one fruit or not. Maybe they're just super powerful. Because the Seraphim, the Mihawk one, he just had the blade power.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had a different fruit. But then he can like, he has the like mother flame shit. But then
Mother
Boa
flame?
Hank, like they have
The
this like fire on their back.
rays. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's some sort of fire.
But that's a bloodline trait too.
Yeah. But then Boa Hancock's one, stone power. But did she have another power?
Stone power. No, her
Medusa.
power is keto paint.
Yeah, being a, you know, Medusa is. Yeah, so then it's... So that kind of like... The devil fruits are mysterious, but then Vegapunk can just like copy and paste them, so it's like, okay. But then they said about the, like the Void Century...
Honestly, I kind of like it. To me, it seems like he is playing with the rule set where,
Yeah.
okay, since a person after eating the fruit can channel the power, where does the power reside? Okay, well, apparently the power resides in the blood. Okay, well, what if we... Does that mean other people can manipulate it so long as you can
Yeah.
utilize the blood? But then how do you utilize the blood? And here comes the problem. That's not really explained. It's just like Vegapunk has figured out how, but the mechanism isn't explained, but now he just seems all-powerful. Like, his knowledge seems like it is fucking dangerous. There's no fucking wonder the government is, like, trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Because he's breaking rules that people like thought were fucking set in stone.
Yeah. He's just gone like fucking crazy. But then he's like... Yeah, like he's separated his mind into different things, and like he's got a giant brain. Like his head is just an antenna that connects to his real brain somewhere else.
Yeah, I've seen that shit, and it still doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Like, he
So
shares
that's
his
the-
brain
yeah.
with like the 3 other fucking Daft Punk backup members,
Yeah.
and somehow, despite them sharing a brain, he didn't realize he was going to be betrayed by one another. That was just like, you have got to be fucking.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like that, and then because they're mingling like science and like supernatural and like fantasy elements and all together, so it kind of, again, the theme of the world is just like crazy and like there's possibilities everywhere. So like, it's so like open-ended
Says there aren't benefits to a life of wandering.
that it's just kind of.
Yeah, but you also said that the like the end of the mysteries were clear. Like, so
Well, it's not that not that they're clear. It's like that we're gonna get the like. There are like these fixed big mysteries in the world, and
but
then
they're all
one
going to be answered.
they're all gonna be answered, and like because
I'm going in.
we're getting more answers as we go along
Rain cutter.
to other things. It's like there's no mystery left. It's instead of say like
Says there aren't benefits. to a
you've
life of
learned,
wandering.
you know, some sort of what really happened in like Russia in World War II or something, like the fall of the Soviet Union. Or, like you got like loads of information about Putin and like his whole life, right? It's like
Okay.
so say you got all that and you like knew everything about Russia and like all its history and like all these big mysteries about Russia. You got all of it. You'd still have mysteries about like every other country, like you know France and fucking everything. But whereas One Piece, it just feels like
How
you'll
big
just
do your mysteries have to be for you to care?
I feel
To
like
me, for me, the character mysteries are fine.
yeah, character mysteries are good, but then it's like having
Like how people know each other, how they correlate what their personal histories are, why one person seems to like or dislike another.
But then for me, if there's no like world mysteries, then it just feels like it's like people are bored and they just create drama because there's nothing else to do because there's no point like doing anything with their lives because they know everything.
Okay.
It's like there's no point us being scientists because we know everything, and there's no point like being artists or authors or like you know psychologists because we fucking know everything. So let's just fuck around and you know like have sex and kids and just drama and like
Well,
because we're
have
bored.
a sex and kids.
Yeah, like they're just looking for they're just looking for entertainment because they know all the mysteries of the world now and there's nothing to do. So like
Here.
you need
Dreamwork.
Fresh and
there's some kind of like overarching direction for the world that it's like moving. Like there's some level of progress or
even
like knowledge that can be discovered.
You need some fucking global level informational progress.
Or like there has to be possibility of it. It's like Disco Elysium. Like we've seen one cryptid and there's like the Pale and like that woman who was like had superpowers or something. In the like there's that church, you know, that like I don't know, the saint woman who was gonna like save the world or something. Like
Yeah, which still isn't clear whether or not she's actually like has holy powers.
yeah. So that's like big mysteries, right? It's like the Pale and nature and cryptids and like, you know, mysterious things to discover.
By the way, I talked about this before, but it might be fun for you to watch some Fear and Hunger lore videos. Because it does some weird shit where it has a setting where it's almost like Greek mythology where you have gods wandering the earth and they like interact with human beings, so they're like very real and physical. But you also have like fucking Cthulhu level gods, like elder god type things, and even like a Jesus Christ type figures, and that shit just got weird real fast. But it's still sort of like watching Dark Souls lore videos where it is thoroughly thought out, and
Time to
It
go.
does have some like more meaningful repercussions, but still like small scale enough that it doesn't seem like it breaks the fucking setting.
Yeah.
Because, for example, like Gwyn is a god, but he died, the world moved on.
Yeah. That's what I feel like I need in a setting where it's like the characters aren't the setting.
Let's finish this.
It's like
Into the wind.
if
Stand.
Falling leaves.
like Luffy dies, it feels like the world ends.
Really?
It's like
Okay.
that, it's kind of like oh, like no one cares about the world anymore because it's like
It
it's
doesn't
like
feel like that for me at all. Like, for me, it seems like, despite him fucking gaining god powers, it seems like there's so much more shit that goes on beyond whatever the fuck Luffy is trying to achieve at the moment. Like, Shanks all of a sudden getting evolved despite at first being like, yeah, I'm gonna leave One Piece to the others, and then suddenly he changes his mind. It's like, like, why the fuck is this happening all of a sudden? Like, if you know what sort of character he is, this seems weird and out of the blue, and you want an explanation.
yeah.
All right. Let's finish.
And then it's
I was
One with nature.
so it's
Time to go.
yeah. So like there is still some world mystery in One Piece, but then
Well, sorry, like, I have to point out, like, that mystery with Shank to me is as big as a world mystery because there's too much implication there.
for
Like,
me
it seems like
yeah.
whatever involves him in this specific circumstance will have to involve something fairly big.
But then for me, it's like, if I know the world mysteries, I stop caring about all the characters.
Okay.
Because it's like, the setting is dead. So, like, all the characters, they're just like dolls in a dollhouse. You're just playing around. It's like, who cares? It's like, there's nothing is going to change in the world now because we just know everything. So it's like watching EastEnders or like a TV drama. It just goes on forever because it's like you like you're detached from it.
Get enough.
I can't get invested in the
in the
like
characters.
yeah. I can't believe that the world exists anymore because it's like it needs to have mystery to exist. Because if you know everything, then it's not real. Because like reality is like a mysterious, huge like thing you'll never understand. So like if you know everything, the world is boring, and so the characters are in a boring world, and I don't give a shit anymore. Because it's like the character actions are like irrelevant because the world, you know everything about the world now.
I feel like you almost have the opposite perspective of me. Like, to me, there's no point in having a fantastical world if I don't give a shit about the characters.
No, but that's what I mean. It's like I need both. It's like I need the characters to be interesting and the world to be like mysterious and interesting. So like, if they're like really interesting characters, and there's like mysteries with the characters and things, but the world is like, I know all the I understand all the how devil fruits work and all the powers and all the like reason why there's like a giant ocean in One Piece and blah, blah. Like, I stop caring about the characters because it's just drama.
Time to go.
It's just like relationship drama. It's just like people drama. There's no
Don't care enough about people, huh?
let's light it up.
yeah. It's like
Into the
they
wind.
don't seem like real people. They just seem like characters in a
Little
story.
ambiance.
They're like fairy tale characters. They're just like Hansel and Gretel in the gingerbread house. It's like I lose connection with them because they seem fake now. Because their world seems fake. Because I know everything about it.
Okay.
Off we go.
So it's like I
The
can't.
realism of the world is contingent on its mysteries.
Because the real world is like it has mysteries. But like
But there's nothing to state that they're infinite.
No, but it's like that is what the real world is. It's like a mysterious place that we don't know everything about. So like for another reality that I'm like escaping into, for it to compare and be as interesting and engaging as real life, it has to like have it has to like be as interesting and mysterious as reality.
Wind strike.
So like that's why when I've said before, like
Hide.
when I think of settings, I think, okay, what is going to happen 10,000 years in the future? Like, are there going to be hobbits in spaceships in Lord of the Rings?
Even better than I imagined.
Right.
It's
Fucking
my
love
lucky
that.
day.
So for me, it makes the setting seem worse because it's like, how does magic work in space? Can hobbits go into space? Will there be like hobbits and elves driving around in cars?
Body and mind.
And it's like,
Nope, can't take it seriously.
right, so it's like the quality of the world like diminishes
Time to
if
act.
it basically doesn't.
I actually said that jokingly.
That's why I feel like that's why I
Look at the
see.
fucking 40k universe. Like, it's the same fucking warfare, just thousands of years in the future.
Yeah, but then
Almost nothing's changed. Like, it still works. I think we're severely
Yeah, but-
underestimating how
Everybody stand
much we can get away with.
yeah, but then so it depends on how it's presented. Like, if you had
Adventure time.
say like Game of Thrones in 10,000 years, so it's like dragons and White Walkers when there's people on their phones. You know what I mean? Like
I
you're in.
mean, with the setting that they have, it seems like magical things are just disappearing from the world. Like, it's actually like an endangered
Yeah.
species.
One with nature.
So
Yeah.
maybe that's just magic's thrown out. There's nothing left.
Fallen leaves.
So then it
Witness the power of gold.
Time to go.
kind of like it breaks my immersion. Like I don't enjoy it as much when I
The interesting
can't.
parts are gone.
Yeah, I can't imagine the mystery still being there in 10,000 years. Because it's like
Okay.
Game of Thrones will just become like Earth. But with
Have
like,
that.
yeah.
Fuck Earth.
So that's why I kind of feel as though sci-fi things have more immersive worlds than fantasy.
Because they
you-
got perpetuity.
Yeah. So then, but then when you say you have like things like Elden Ring, where you get like space travel is kind of built into it with like things in comets and like the Greater Wheel and like the Elden Beast, and so like maybe they don't have spaceships or they don't have the possibility for like things like that. But you could imagine they're like using magic to like teleport between worlds or riding comets or all this kind of stuff. So like there has to be some logic with it, because like Elden Ring is always about like, you know, gravity powers and like things landed on the planet and different, you know, the huge comet that opens up the hole in the game world, and like so there's like other planets, so there's like aliens, or is it like how do they do space travel?
I'm going in.
And like
Let's light it up.
All of which you need explanations to.
no, it's like it needs to feel as though the world will
It's a
like
miracle.
continue.
Sure.
So that's where I can't imagine Lord of the Rings making sense in like 10,000 years from its like
But you can
start.
imagine Elden Ring doing that?
Yeah, because they introduced the concept of like like space travel basically.
So if Lord of the Rings had introduced space travel, it's now believable?
A bit more, yeah. because the way they treat, they have like Valar and things that like stars and things, but like I don't. It doesn't seem like anything exists outside of
Off we
the
go.
planet of like Middle Earth.
Huh?
So like, even though they say that like, you know, when Gandalf in the Rings of Power he like crashed into the planet, it's like
Teamwork is
Sure.
strength.
it doesn't seem like he came from space. It seems like
Clouds high.
he was
Space
put in a
came from
fucking
him.
he was put in like a trebuchet and like fired into Middle Earth from the Undying Lands or something.
Yeah, but like that's an aspect that causes
It's a
problems for me.
Adventure time.
Okay, Elden Ring has space. Okay, cool.
go.
Do they have Americas
Adventure
and
time.
fucking gods and all this kind of shit on every other planet? Like how barren is outer space? What the fuck do aliens look like? Is it completely different logic? I don't fucking...
Yeah.
It looks like, in my head, that universe looks so fucking jam-packed fucked as soon as you leave orbit that it's just absolute chaos.
Mm.
Because we have worlds within worlds. Like, fucking the entirety of the expansion pack happened inside Mikkel's body, as far as I know.
Yeah, it's like
Like, it could be some realm created from his mind, but then we're working on a whole, like, yet another level of fuckery, where, like, where exactly the boundaries between everything is. Like, how many layers can you have in this? If you have it, what if, like, America died in his own mind? So, like, if you go to the corpse inside here, can it just keep going down? How deep does this go?
is my
That's the problem I had with Bloodborne, because it actually did that shit. It went full fucking dreams within dreams.
yeah.
At the same time, I think it's cool, but it's also so fucked if you think about it for too long.
Yeah. That's for like I have that for me. It's like there has to be some like world, like quality world to ground characters in. Otherwise, I like lose interest. So
Sure.
regardless of the quality of like the stories,
I
of the
don't know, I like
characters.
Dr. House and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, but House is good because it's set in our world,
Yeah,
which is a
Well,
good
that-
world.
is it though?
Yeah,
You
because it's
seem
got
to say
mystery.
this world is shit, so you need to go to a
No,
different world.
because
to
this world has mystery. That's why
Yeah,
it's good.
none of them seem to involve those settings though. It's just there.
No. Yeah, but then the world setting is a mysterious world because it's the real world.
So
and
you
the real world
don't
is
feel like
mysterious.
if they have a setting with mystery that they should even explore? The mystery can just be there as...
They can, but like that like the mystery has to be like,
Reconstitute.
Into the wind.
say for example, like
I'm going in. Let me weave you a verb.
Fallen leaves.
Go on then.
there has to be like tiers of mystery. It has to be like
10,000 mystery.
say you've got like
That's what I call treasure.
vampires, right? So you can like explore and like, oh my god, there's vampires, and oh shit, like there's Dracula and he created the vampires. But like,
Let's finish this fast.
you don't need to know where Dracula came from,
Rain outline.
or
Are
like
you sure about that?
you could, but then say like he was, you know, part of a magical ritual or something. Like you don't, if you explore magic as well, then it kind of loses.
Time to go.
And then so there's a deeper mystery of like Cthulhu. Like you know the name Cthulhu, but you never are able to like explore or figure him out. It's like a law of nature. It's like if I compare it to say
Wind striking.
like other aliens in the universe. It's like the only way we're gonna know is if we go out into space and find them, or they come to us. So like, when is that conceivably gonna happen? In like fucking hundreds of years, thousands
Right
of years.
now.
So like, we kind of it makes sense they're aliens because of like just like pure mathematical logic. That like the chances that there's probably other life in the universe. But like
But why can't you apply that to Lord of the Rings?
because it's more about because we know the setting that they're in because like in the like, Lord of the Rings it's presented very grounded. It's like Gandalf's magic is he can just kind of make some light on his staff or like whistle to an eagle, right? But then they have horses and they have like windmills and metal and cities and carts and things. So conceivably, they could make an engine in a car and just drive about, right? But then how does that fit in with like magic and Gandalf and Sauron and like orcs and blah 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 blah? So
I don't know, becomes Harry Potter, I guess.
right, but then because the world doesn't really like show examples of like progress. It's like the world always stays the same. When you look at like Rings of Power and you look at like the movies, the technology level and all this stuff is like the same. After like hundreds of years, there's like zero progress. It's just they just like build another city and it's the same looking city. Or like the dwarves build another mine and it's just another mine. Like they don't invent electric drills.
They invented rings, Isaac. Rings of power.
Yeah, but the rings were there already, so it's like... And it's kind of... The world seems like in a fixed state of technology and it never changes. So then... If you introduced progress to Lord of the Rings, it would like fall apart because... It all works together based on it having like a fixed level of like technology and stuff.
Let's finish this fast.
Wind strike.
It's like, oh no, it's like, oh, the last movie of Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, and like it's Aragorn and some like a few like 1,000 people versus the hordes of Mordor. But like, Aragorn invents the machine gun and just kills them all.
The wind.
Based.
So then it's like, you can't kill Sauron with a machine gun. You have to throw the ring in Mount Doom. But then what if you like threw the ring into like a nuclear reactor? It's like what would happen? So it's like if you nuked Mount Doom and Sauron's tower, what would happen?
Who says there aren't benefits to a life of wandering?
I mean, they destroyed his body. And
Yeah.
they haven't explored the science behind why it has to be Mount Doom.
Yeah. But then say it all got blown up and then it progressed and then it was just like elves with mobile phones. Would Sauron still be like a spirit trying to manipulate people? And then would it be like
Yes,
Sauron-
in fact,
Sauron-
he uses
yeah.
people's network to manipulate them.
Yeah.
And
So then
that's how the
Sauron-
election
yeah.
got rigged.
So like Sauron actually existed, but he's just like AI now. He's like become AI.
Yes! I like that actually.
A little ambiance.
So then it's like, but then it's like,
Which fucking setting had the Father of Lies? I remember hearing the title so fucking much and I can't figure out where it's from. I wonder if it was Diablo.
sounds like yeah.
Because that fucking fits Sauron pretty well.
It's in the Bible apparently.
Okay, who was it? Who was it?
Did Tolkien
Witness
ever
me.
Let's light it up.
Morgoth?
Teamwork is dreamwork.
Oh, he was the Father of Lies?
Witness the power of Google.
Wind strike.
Tolkien. I have now a quarrel of my own with this master of life, which will last to my life's end. It's like some quote from one of the books where they talk about Morgoth. But yeah, Father of Lies sounds familiar. It might have been. I feel like it might have been in Diablo as well. Or like,
I mean, it could be just straight up stolen. Like,
was like...
you said it apparently shows up in the Bible. I'm willing to believe it.
Yeah, the term the Father of Lies is in the Bible. John 8th.
Because it's a pretty bombastic title.
Yeah.
Before I existed, no lies. After me, all lies.
You belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth, for there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native tongue, for he is a liar and the father of lies.
When he lies, he speaks his native tongue. I fucking like that. Then it's throwing that line out in the middle of a conversation. It's like, when you lie, you speak your native tongue, fool. Just
Demon. Yeah.
Like, dude, chill. It's so over the top.
How easy for it is for you to lie. It must be your native tongue, demon.
It's the Bible has some shit.
Yeah.
The Bible, what can I say? Very quotable.
This'll brighten up the place. No, my sword.
I think it's in the Silmarillion. I haven't read that book.
Oh, bro, missing out.
A little ambiance.
So says I, the father of lies.
It's like, lie to me.
Who says there aren't benefits to a life of wandering?
I mean, I hear it's like very
Time to go.
fucking heavy. Like it almost is like reading the Bible.
Yeah. I remember reading Fellowship of the Ring. It just like drags on fucking ages. It's just like half the book and you're still in fucking Hobbiton. And you're like, oh my god.
I was like, my dad was trying to get me to read Lord of the Rings, and I don't know what the fuck was up with the version. It got me just like, oh yeah, like listen, try to listen to some of the Annals of Kings before you start. And it's just like the Annals of Kings is some of the most fucking dry, pointless. It's like reading the older Edda, where it's just, it's just like a list of names and heritages and just like a single achievement that they had, and then just move the fuck on. I was like, why am I just getting bombarded with this? Tells me nothing. This gets me disinterested. Why would you recommend this to me?
Yeah, it's just like lore facts.
Yeah.
But it's like it's so much you'll never remember it. So it's like it's not.
Yeah, and I have no
PDF.
context that I can put it in, so I can give a shit. It's just, you might as well like pick the fucking lineage of Yugoslavia or whatever. Like, why the fuck should I, like, there's just as much reason for me to care until I have the fucking story.
Yeah.
Adventure time.
I hate Annals of Kings.
Yes,
Wind strike.
that's what I told him. And he's just like, you take this back, mister, you love anal.
Everybody stand.
We love anal in this house.
It's like, no sodomine dislikes.
And he goes to you. You sound like the father of lies. I'm the father.
It's like,
You listen to me.
when you speak lies, you speak native tongue.
Yeah. I always knew you loved anal.
But there's also something about like the brutal directness of the Bible. For when he spoke utter trash, motherfucker, piece of shit.
No. Devil.
The matter of factness of everything is just so funny
Yeah.
because it fucking rebukes, like it is judgmental as fuck, but it's so matter of fact about like about the judgment. I don't know how the fuck to put it. It is like the person who wrote the Bible is just an absolute bitch.
It's a group of
Say, great
bitches. The Bible was written by like loads of different people.
Those are different bitches.
Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of bitches.
It still fascinates me how so many people are still like, yes, this is the word of God, and yet it's been through so many different renditions. How the fuck?
Reconstitute.
Like, how did you not get it right the first time if it was the word of God? Like, man,
Teamwork is dreamwork.
God sure took a lot of time to give you the correct version, huh? What the fuck's up with that?
That's what I was just thinking that today. I was like, if you said to someone, like a Muslim or a Christian, or something, if you said to them like,
Are you sure you got it right this time
yeah,
around?
should like, surely if we just like destroyed all the Bibles and Qurans and everything, like,
God would give us a new message.
like no, like,
Or reintroduce what? No? Okay.
yeah, like because they're like the definite rules and like it's the word of God and it's like what
This
we
is so
should
important
follow.
for us to have this. Surely he'd give us a second chance.
Yeah, like they'll come back again. You know what I mean?
I mean,
it's
he's
like
technically give us there's plenty of chances considering he's like, he give us a little bit of the Bible, then a little bit more, then a little bit more. Like, who knows? Maybe he'll make the sequel. Why hasn't he done that yet?
yeah, it's like if it's the definite,
Go.
you know, knowledge and rules and things,
Let's
it's
light
like
it up.
surely they'll come back again. You know what I mean? If they're like the right ones. It's
You
like,
mean like a
well,
science book?
This'll brighten up the place.
yeah. So it's like surely like if God wants us to know,
Then he will let you know.
yeah, he will bring and forth another prophet.
It's a miracle.
That's why I hate religion because it doesn't change either.
But that's a
Doesn't
that's
evolve.
mystery.
Not really.
Adventure time.
I mean, technically does the opposite. It explains, but then does a poor job of it.
Exactly. It's like bad world building.
I'm going in.
As one with wind and
The Bible's just bad fan fiction.
It's like it makes the world worse because it gives you the answers. So, like it makes your like it like removes curiosity and interest, like
Power of Gawa.
thinking from your fucking mind.
Let's light it up.
Okay, Isaac. Chill, the Bible can only take so much.
Also, like in
Excellent.
London, because where I work is like really central and like there's like there's this like
You can burn the
it's
city
like
to the ground now,
Leicester
where you-
Square. No, like it's like, you know, really busy area. And there's always this like stand. There's like free Quran, like we'll give you a free Quran,
Understand.
you know. Like we'll hand you it, like, you know, they're just like giving out, they're like promoting it and stuff.
Teamwork is strength.
Yeah, of course.
I wanted to just get one and like rip it in half. Like
Part of it.
just because, like, you know, when people are like, oh, I'm so strong I can like rip a phone book in half.
Yeah. I'm so strong I can rip a hard book.
Yeah, I kind of want to.
cover of the Quran in half
UK is
without being
destroyed.
smote. Isaac, I'm about to release a Tapetlosaur. Chill. What? I can't? How that? How do you roll me? What? No key? Oh, nothing. What are you looking up?
If it's like illegal, like burn,
Burn the Koran.
destroy, like, yeah.
I'm sure it is.
I don't think it is. No.
Really? What the fuck happened here? I have a hard time believing that, considering you. What would the correct phrasing
Follow
be?
the wind.
You have hate speech laws, or you don't have hate speech laws? I don't.
Everybody stand. A little
I think it's
ambiance.
like because it counts as like a hate crime.
As one with
Yeah,
wind and
that's what I mean. So it wouldn't be included under that. Or how do you define hate crime?
Yeah, well, that's the problem. You shouldn't have hate crimes.
You shouldn't have hate.
Teamwork is dreamwork.
So says I.
adorn my night. Wind strider.
Fucking Jesus.
It's a
But
miracle.
doing hate crimes.
Doing religion.
True. Study your own, Isaac.
Yeah. Well, I've been inventing my own afterlife, so maybe I'll create my own religion.
That we're on live stream. I wonder what the fuck people think when they hear me say that. I create my own afterlife. Like,
I'm gonna go there right now. Bang.
how'd that work out for you?
No, I just think of like, okay, what would be like a good afterlife that would have like a purpose or like a logic?
Brings a smile to my
So I think
face.
it like it matches more to like the theory, you know, people say, oh, it's like all a simulation or something. but it's like
Okay. I mean, my afterlife is pretty shit.
what?
Can I tell you about it?
Time to go.
Remember. Based
So
on what?
in the
Like,
setting that I
dimensions?
have, the world is
right.
flat, and like all the dead people basically just on the other side of the world,
Okay.
and it's just like a second chance because they will gradually dissipate anyway.
Go ahead. This'll brighten up the place.
But you basically have like a kingdom of undead on the other side of the earth,
But like,
and it's also fucking recent, so it's almost like a Greek mythology type of
Time to
underworld.
go.
so like they're like undead. It's not just like they go to a second life and it's just kind of they're humans still. It's like they're literally
ghosts go there.
they're like they know they're ghosts.
Because the place is so recent, there's a lot of confused people in the beginning.
Okay. But like
And then he like
they remember their
setting is
previous.
also the
They remember their
yeah,
previous.
because for
okay.
them it's just like a continuation. It's just like
Okay.
it's weird. It's almost like I had a weird dream. I just followed like almost like Valkyrie type things.
Yeah.
Another part of the settings that you have like death knights that sort of function as shepherds for the dead, and at the same time are trying to keep a sort of corruption at bay, but they're just like hollow armors that are just like charred to hell because part of the ritual is that they just it's so fucking ass backwards the way I made it, where they're first like resurrected, like the people who become death knights, where they're bound to a body and then they burn the body again inside the suit of armor to then bind them to the suit of armor. So the body itself is just like kindling in that setting.
Right.
But also they can't bring the body into combat because it's like corruptible as part of the problem. But when they're bound to the armor, they sort of lack communication, so you just have these fucking menacing looking hulking black charred armors like wandering the battlefields, and just like not nomadic, what's the term, like almost going on a pilgrimage, where like you have like rows of them like on the roads just like going directly to their point of interest. So it just looks like you suddenly have like a new faction appear like and show up and go on a warpath, but they're not hostile unless you attack them themselves. But they also keep like showing up in graveyards because they're also shepherds. So you have like funerals, and you just have like this menacing dude on the horizon like waiting for the spirit to be guided us. Like what the fuck is happening?
But like the Death Knights exist in the mortal world or in the afterlife, or both.
Both. It's like they're knights that like have to sacrifice like a second body, which is weird. Like I think I don't know what I decided on the Lord. It should technically be possible while you're still alive, but like the Death Knights operate by a creed that is like on the other side of the disc, which mortal people don't really go to. And I have this weird fucking shit where there's like a fucking I don't feel like I should try explaining.
But I mean, when you said like on the battlefields, they're like walking through it and stuff. Like battlefields,
They don't get involved in like other nations. They're like there
No,
to keep a corruption at bay. So.
they're walking battlefields on the mortal side of the disc.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the other side, you have some other weird shit going on eventually.
Okay. Yeah.
Where because I like the biblical imagery, there was like at some point a separation between different worlds. So like only the gods were able to like gods of different realms were able to like contact each other, but all other contact was like lost, which is why you have like people thought that certain races and their heritages were like mythical because it's been so long since they had access to that part of the history, and you have like dead civilizations because they lost connection and they just went extinct.
Yeah.
But their origins are actually from the other realms. But because these places like opening up, and like some of these realms actually have like for some reason have held on to like thousands years of grudges. So when they're like reintroduced to each other, it just like starts all over again.
Yeah.
But they also have like connection to like quote unquote the mortal world, like the human world, the surface.
Yeah.
But they're busy with their own shit. None of them are. And also they have to be careful because there's still like covenants between the gods where if they interfere too much in each other's worlds, or the mortals do, it's just like, there's no reason we shut this off in the first place.
Yeah.
But they found like a catch-22 where these people are dead, so we're gonna try to convert them to our side. So you have like this biblical post-life heaven or hell conundrum shit going on in the underworld.
Right.
And because they're going to disintegrate, I think they're just like, a third chance. They're gonna give us the ability to exist in that world instead of disappearing here. So they have like this temptation where, so basically there's multiple biblical and religious references here. Like technically, they go, like initially they don't go to heaven or hell, they go to like limbo or purgatory.
Yeah.
Actually, Jesus Christ, I just realized I have so many biblical references. So like that place is limbo, and they just like gradually just fade and like disappear. So
So
the other side of the world is like limbo, and like purgatory is technically how you become a death knight. Like you ignite yourself, and by purifying yourself, you're able to fight, and like your spirit is then anchored to something that can be sustained in the other world. Like part of the reason the spirits have to go to the other side of the disc in the first place is because otherwise they dissipate faster in the overworld, which is also why they function as shepherds, because they can help them bridge over to the other side. Because they've been purified, so there's something of an aura. I don't know, fucking know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't, because I kind of have afterlives. My silver screen show with the like supernatural stuff. That's like
it's
heavily.
that setting that has okay.
That setting has the like supernatural world is like purgatory, kind of.
Okay.
And then they can go to another place. So it's like I said they like. You can like shift between the worlds, like the mortal and the supernatural world, and like you can have mortal flesh and supernatural flesh. So like when you're mortal, and then if you have any supernatural flesh, like no mortals can see you anymore, and like you're a mix between like supernatural and mortal because you have like both fleshes. But then if you go all supernatural, if all your flesh is supernatural, like you go again to like the next one. So like,
what does that mean?
So the same way that like you go from the mortal world and you're now you can go into the you're part of the supernatural world because you've gained supernatural flesh.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still kind of connected to both, and you can move between both because you have like mortal flesh still and some supernatural flesh, right? But if you get all supernatural flesh, there's like a third realm after the supernatural realm, which is like you go there and you can't come back. So it's like, so the people are like, all the like supernatural beings are like afraid of turning all supernatural because they don't know no one's ever come back from the other side, so they think, oh, it's like death. But then, and because no one's done it for so long, no one knows what actually happens when someone goes all supernatural. And they're also like
go full supernatural.
And they're also because what you can do is like, say someone like slices your chest, right?
I hate it when that happens.
You can, when you you can like switch between the worlds, and it like repairs the mortal flesh that's been cut to like supernatural, right? So like you heal your wounds by like turning your mortal flesh into supernatural flesh. But then people are like so scared of the other side, like say they've only got like a little bit of like mortal flesh left, like their neck or something, and like it gets sliced, they might choose to just die because they're too afraid to like go to the third place.
Okay.
Or
What
like,
does death mean in that context then? If the other one is true death?
well, they just die. They're just like, well, the same with mortals. They just like die. No, they don't go anywhere. It's just death.
What?
Time to go.
So they're just a corpse, and that's preferable than going to the other place.
Well, it's a kind of a thing because they have to like actively like switch worlds to like prepare themselves. So like the act of moving between the dimensions, it's like this green flame sort of gateway, like a gateway rift opens, and like by moving through the rift like repairs anything that's like damaged or whatever. So like it turns it supernatural. So like if you just get like shot in the head with a fucking gun, like you don't have the time to like switch worlds because you're just dead. So like
True.
you can't actively like choose to like repair the flesh by going to like swapping, by like going through a rift. So like
Flesh
you
cannot
just
be
die.
repaired.
Yeah, so only by like
Solidify.
having all of your flesh turn supernatural do you then get like pulled to the third place.
This is order.
But then because no one's ever come back and said, oh, it's like this, people don't know what it is. Because people have, like, once you've gone to the mortal, from mortal to supernatural, people can go back and forth between them. But they can't go back and forward between the third place. But they don't know why, and they don't know what happened, and they don't. Yeah, so that's why they focus so much on, like, people changing their fleshes to, like...
Why are they more scared of double buffing than they...
well, like, it's also rare that it happens.
Straight dying. What,
Yeah,
dying?
well, dying is rare because, like, they've spent so long... People have spent so long kind of, like, learning what parts of their flesh to change to make them, like, live forever and, like, live really long time, like, hundreds of years and stuff. So, like... It's like they've like got supernatural hearts that never like degrade, or like
Okay, Doctor Who.
Yeah. So it's kind of there's this whole like historical thing and experimentation where they've like figured out, and there's like knowledge and special doctors or surgeons that like help people sort of transition into being more supernatural, just enough to like live forever, or kind of like design themselves how they want to be.
Isaac, do you remember Mr. Knowledge?
Knowledge. With his Lamborghini.
Yeah, but more importantly, his bookcases in his garage.
Yeah. I read all these books.
These are my real pride and joy.
Did you know he said about he doesn't actually read all the books? Did you see that?
Did he admit that? What, really?
Well, what he does is he hires people to read the books and then take all the like key elements from the books and then like dumb it, like shorten it to like the highlights.
That slight difference.
Yeah.
You think? Now that's a scam.
So like it could but I guess if it's like I don't know, self-help or I don't know, certain philosophical books that get simplified, because I don't think it would work if it's like Lord of the Rings, because the whole point of it is it's like a
The adventure.
Yeah, it's like they just, or he wants like the inherent theme and message of the book. I don't know. So he just gets like one paragraph.
Good enough for me.
I wonder who this gift could be from.
But then I think my world, Nero world, kind of has an afterlife. Or well,
We're hesitating, Isaac. Does it or doesn't it? Where he has the thing? Isaac?
Well, it's never. Well, like when a creature dies, its soul goes to the god of that race, and then the god chooses what to do with the soul. And then the god can like use it as like energy to create things in the real world, or put the soul back into like something else, or send that soul to like an afterlife.
Man, he's really spoiled for choice, huh?
And the gods can trade souls with each other.
Would you?
Yeah. And that's how your character's created. Okay.
Isaac, stop making me disgusting.
That's how your fish squid man character comes into existence.
How come you two think that Squidward is a fitting character for me, huh?
It's not Squidward, it's like Cthulhu, man.
As I was saying.
I showed you the picture. It's fine.
You sure did.
Yeah.
Why are you just going, yeah?
Why aren't you not flattered? Okay, you're in my story.
Who says I'm not flattered? That you made me absolutely disgusting.
You saved me from getting raped by a goblin. That's good.
Yeah, but what about the real world? No, so what about the setting?
No, both. In both. Okay, not me and Nero getting raped.
Like, what a fucking sentence.
Let's hope you put up a good fight.
You saved me getting raped by
A female
goblin.
goblin. Not a male goblin.
Echoing song.
Oh yeah, that really changes things, thank you.
Check this out.
I think because she's like eating your family.
What, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the actual...
Because it's in like a flooded catacombs, and then goblins they can only
typical.
like they can only think straight when they're eating. So then she's like eating a giant, I don't know, like fish or some sort of squid or sea monster or something.
What, she going full golem?
So she's like, yeah, she's like eating that, and then she's like, because the Nero's kind of all like, I don't know, fucked up or injured or something, and so she's like eating a giant squid, and then she's like, oh look, there's this guy, I'm gonna breed with him, and then you fucking
In a moment of clarity, that's what
yeah,
she
that's what she just said. Yeah, because that's because that's how, because they're so like deaf, they're like. Their minds are so fucked up when they actually get some clarity, they're like, oh god, like
Time for fun.
Like I need, it's like their other urges come in because they're always just like hungry. Then it's like the other base ones come in. It's like reproduction. Da, 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 da.
Wow, what a long list. Reproduction.
Yeah, reproduction, warmth. I don't know, like social stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, it has those hierarchy of needs kicks in.
Yeah. And I think I don't know. I think you like cut a head off or something.
Why am I so angry?
Well, no, you're like saving me. Because what will happen is
Actually, that's a bigger mystery. Why?
because she like while she's like eating something, she'll have the clarity, but then once she starts like raping me, she'll stop eating. So then she'll start wanting to eat me. So then she'll kill me. Right. So you're like saving me because like she's gonna eat me. Yeah. And she was previously like trying to attack me or us, or the other goblins were attacking us.
Me or us?
Yeah, I'm not sure how much we're gonna like pair up, like buddy cop movie. I don't think it'll be more like you just kind of appear around.
What the Squidward and Giga Black? Like that's the.
It's like Squidward and Hutch. Or like Starsky and Hutch. I don't know. Yeah.
I guess I'd watch that.
Yeah. Starsky and Squidward.
Nah, Squidward and Hutch.
Oh, wasn't there like a? No, neither of them are black, were they? Starsky and Hutch. Who was?
Why is it so important for you that they're black?
No, I'm trying to think of. Wasn't there like a cop duo? Well, you got like Lethal Weapon.
Die Hard?
Yeah, well, Die Hard not really. It's Lethal Weapon. Is.
Wasn't it like I got a lot of those movies confused.
Die Hard is Bruce Willis.
Yeah, but in the second one, didn't he have a?
Yeah, he's Samuel L. Jackson. He wasn't a cop.
What? Oh. Was it Samuel L. Jackson? Yeah, like I said, I get a lot of those fucking movies confused. Like they're just one big blur in my mind.
Yeah, because either weapon you have Riggs and Murtaugh, which is Mel Gibson and Danny Glover.
Did you say Riggs and Berthold?
Murtaugh. Murtaugh. Murtaugh.
No. What?
What's his
Okay.
name? Roger Murtaugh.
I'll
So
take your
they're,
word for it. But...
so they're like the duo. They're the like buddy cops. But
Okay.
then Die Hard is like Bruce Willis on his own, but in the first film there's the like black security guard. And then the other film he's with Samuel L. Jackson. And
Wait, in Die Hard, there's a black security guard? Is that what you're saying?
in the first film.
Oh.
Yeah. But then Die Hard
Oh,
3.
okay.
It's Die Hard 3 with Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, Die Hard 3 Samuel L. Jackson. Die Hard 2 is with Snape. He's in that.
Really?
Yeah, he's the villain.
Isn't he always?
Oh no, he's the villain in the first one. For fuck's sake.
Can you make up your mind, Isaac?
God damn it.
Just
What is the-
so confusing.
What is the fucking second one? I can barely remember it.
Fuck is there's just a person.
Have you
Are they having tea? What the fuck am I looking at? Okay,
Have
I'm
you not
having
watched Lethal Weapon?
I think I have, but I only saw it when I was young, and I haven't watched it in recent years.
You don't watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia, do you? Because they do it like episodes where they like love that film and they like recreate it. And one of them goes like blackface.
Oh yeah, of course. Classic. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Well,
Why is racism so funny to you?
it's not.
Oh, okay. Unless they
just-
confused you with the other racists.
I'm not racist.
Racist, gayist, go awayist.
It's just things are funny. I can't control if they're funny or not.
Definitely sounds like something a racist would say.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not saying you're racist. I'm just saying you definitely come across that way.
Well, I'm white, so people assume it anyway.
In a post-Twitter world, you're damn right they do.
Yeah.
Can't even say the N-word on Twitter
Even if I
anymore.
say, if I say that I'm not, it's like, it's just subconsciously I am, no matter what. Even if I think I'm not.
Is that an admission?
No, it's not.
Or an explanation?
Everyone's okay?
I'm an upstanding citizen.
I got you covered.
You're a
Get
damn
too close.
sitting citizen.
Lightning?
Citizen.
I love all races.
Except for those damn...
Except for Norwegians.
Classic.
God, who turned the fucking radios on?
Oh, is it Asian Andy? Come to say hi.
I guess that's one way you could like get rid of people, isn't it? Just turn the fucking
Yeah,
thing on.
thing. Engage in psychological warfare? You mean that works?
Does it still count as psychological if it's like the heat? Like it's so hot
Yes.
you can't fucking.
I mean,
Go on.
it is also physical. I mean, I can't deny that. But source sound waves, they're technically physical, but
Oh yeah, true. So you
So-
could do that as like being assaulted. Like someone talks to you, like, "Oh, your sound waves hit me in the face.
yeah, exactly. That's
I'm
assault.
suing you." Yeah.
It's fucking throw down. Like, oh, please, dude.
It's like you stand close to them when they talk, like a fleck of like saliva touches you. Like
I mean, that
it's
actually is assault.
yeah,
It
spit.
is considered. Yeah.
But then it's like
Didn't we see that? Like,
no, but like that's what I mean. But like it's like you just have a logic of like he's talking, so there must be at least one piece of water vapor that touched me. Thus, he's spitting on me.
yeah. You can definitely stretch it past the point of where it makes sense. Correct, Isaac.
Hmm.
You sure solved that mystery.
So if spitting is like throwing up on
Stand
someone.
with me. Yoo-hoo! Let the
I think
world
intentionality comes into play here.
If you're like pissing and then you turn around,
Like
and then
intentionally projectile vomit to something at the end of
Yeah.
face is one hell of a power move.
you just like you're like fuck you, and you stick your hands down your throat. And just,
Yeah,
"Blah,
exactly,
blah."
dude. Without even blinking and without breaking
Yeah.
eye contact, you just jam them in there and vomit
Yeah.
directly in their
Yeah.
face. And
Eyes
just go,
open.
oh, I'm so sorry. I respect that, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
just,
how
like,
am I supposed to
drink-
respect
yeah.
somebody who only causes harm? Like, no, there has to be like some tax to yourself. Otherwise, there's nothing to be impressed about. So if you're willing to fucking pour stomach acid down your own fucking throat,
Or it's like you're having an argument while drinking like a gallon of milk, and then
Yes.
you're just like, you just know you're gonna throw up anyway. So it's like you're using it like a weapon. So you're just sipping on milk as you're arguing, and then just like bleh,
I'm loading the gun.
blast them in the face. Yeah, loading the gun, but then if you're loading the, does it count as a firearm? So it'd be fine to do it in like a state where you can use guns for
It was-
self-defense.
Why did you vomit on me? I have a self-defense.
Yeah, it's my gun. Or does being able to vomit count as like any person is technically a firearm because they can load themselves and then fire it out?
I just swallow bullets.
Yeah. So you can be
I
like,
think
this
person
guy's.
counts as a fire. What the fuck are you saying?
So like,
Isaac?
there's a man with a gun, and it's like a guy with his little kid, and the kid is the
So
gun.
you need a
because
fucking
it's like-
permit to go around no matter where you go because you're a
Yeah.
fucking firearm. Yes,
Well,
Isaac.
you can like logically, you can like technically say that like
You can not only
I'm
can
a
you
reg-
logically, you can
I'm a
also
registered
illogically
firearm.
because we don't give a
Yeah.
fuck here anymore, apparently.
I'm a registered firearm. Okay.
The fortune flip was right.
I need a permit to carry this around and just slap your gut.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you could say to like someone, you could say to a policeman like, that guy's got like 3 loaded guns in his car, and it's just him with 3 kids. Sipping on milk,
Like a worst way to die.
and the cop just unloads into them. Oh my god!
What a fucking headline. Cop lays into kids.
Cop shoots loaded weapons.
It was self-defense. They were coming right for me.
3 loaded weapons
Here's
destroyed.
dissipate.
That's fair. What else was he gonna do?
So if you kill a kid, it's not technically killing a person. It's like destroying someone else's property because it's like
Yes.
a loaded weapon.
Yes.
So you get like a lesser.
In this fucking world you've invented, that is the case. Yes, Isaac.
So it's a less. You get less time in
But
prison.
I like how you're talking about this as if you've gotten a brilliant idea. I think that's what really...
I'm gonna go speak to my local representative. I've got an idea, guys.
And who might that be? You know who your local representative is?
Some dude.
Well said.
Don't know.
Grill, grill. Our bond is strong.
I voted for him recently, but I don't remember the name.
Yeah, I love the guy. Recently voted for him. Don't know who the fuck he is.
John. I don't know.
I bet he is. That's all the names you have in that place. Fucking John and James and Jumping Jehoshaphat.
I think it's. Oh, it's Barry. What's his name? Barry.
You know what? That's not far off.
Yeah, that was close.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Barry.
What the fuck does this symbol mean? I decipher it.
Actually, have to make food for tomorrow. Yeah. Do I? Buy something.
I mean, it has to be one or the other. Isaac. I'm sure you can solve this mystery.
It's like 11:30. Jesus.
Go whiz.
I'll just buy something tomorrow. But I have to go anyway. That'd work.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just struggling to figure out what to do here. Never mind, I just figured it out.
Well, good luck.
Okay, did we have fun today, Isaac?
Maybe.
Okay. Are we reliant on Elden Ring?
Well, we got through one day.
That is true. You think we have enough conversational fuel for another?
I kind of feel like playing Disco Elysium again.
Same. Considering it for a while.
Yeah.
Because, like, for some reason, they've been, like, updating it with so many different
Yeah.
things. Like, is it fully voiced now? I think it might be.
Yeah. Isn't it like it's like a director's cut, right?
There's
Or
that
something-
too, but
something
whatever the
bad.
fuck that means is a mystery. With this man, at least.
Disco L, the final cut.
Disco L. I'm not taking that one.
Yeah, what's the final cut?
Dissipate.
What are you doing with today?
Full voice acting, new political vision quests.
Okay. I'm still, you know, I still haven't finished watching that Disco Elysium video explaining like what the fuck happened. I feel like I should.
Yeah. I have the final cut, I'm not sure.
Yeah, like you don't have to buy it. It was just like patched in, and they just called it Final Cut. Sort of like how you have games that update themselves and call themselves Game of the Year Edition suddenly on Steam.
Yeah.
What was that emotional roller coaster?
I'll install it.
Huh?
Okay, I need to go, because I'm going to shit my pants.
Okay, well then we got something to do next time. Okay, you play the game on a backseat.
Okay, fine.
Fair enough.
Bye.
Bye. Don't shit yourself.